Yo, 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 what is up? We are back. It is me, Ryan from No Border Sports, and we've got Anchel from the Shaw Show here with us. What is up?
I'm excited, man. It's Rams week. It's lamb chops week. I'm excited.
Yeah, James, do you like mutton? Oh, we got mutton chops for on the schedule, the dinner schedule for this week. I just know that I hear something about you put mustard on them and they don't start oxidizing or something like that, and you cook it real quick. I don't necessarily know how to cook lamb, but the 49ers seem to prepare it well twice a year. So I'm just gonna put my trust in them and just let them cook it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Have you had lamb before?
No, unfortunately, I can't. So,
Oh,
nope.
gotcha. It's not a part of the list, huh? It's not on the list.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
the approved list. All good. Um, I had a buddy. He was Muslim, and he's like, "Hey, we went camping, and his parents sent him with, I guess you would say, halal food, or
Mm,
food that was prepared correctly for him to be able to eat it without any guilt. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
And he's got freaking they're like chicken patties. Like you make a chicken patty sandwich with,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and for some reason I couldn't. I was like dumbfounded that you know somebody making food that Muslims could eat would make it into a chicken patty. I'm like, what? And then after I'm like, well, why wouldn't they make it into a chicken patty? Chicken patties are amazing as long as it's taken care of the right way. People are like, heck yeah, I'll eat whatever I want. You know what I mean? As long as I'm not getting myself in
Mm-hmm.
trouble. Like I, I was just blown aback. I want to give a shout out. We got Raphael in the house. What is up, Raphael?
Raphael.
Saying what's up to me and you. We got James in the house all the way from across the pond. Lamb is a great dish for Sunday dinner and the Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding. I can't remember if that has. I can't remember if that has something weird or if that's something weird. We got. I can't. What is Yorkshire pudding again? Please remind me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just can't remember. There's some sort of pudding. Some sort of pudding that is like to us American people wouldn't be considered pudding as like any sort of a dessert item. Can't remember what it's called. We got Joe Bebop in the house. Sorry, we got Bebop in the house saying same old sorry ass Lent Rams. Yes. We
Yep.
got Joe Stevens in the house. Joe Stevens put out a short earlier today. It was good. I liked it. You did a great job, Joe. Uh there is some things I would change. I would put something in the background. So like maybe your Seahawk color green, so it's not just black with the little square in the middle. But you do you start evolving. Um, and then yeah, so go check that one out. It's essentially his emotions after the week 1 game because he's a Seahawks fan. And yeah, we got Christine in the house. What up,
What's up,
Christine?
Christine?
Appreciate you stopping by. Bashar in the house. He says Yorkshire pudding is like bread.
Hmm.
Oh, you're going to take 2 minutes to show up on screen, but yet it'll take 1 second to take it down. Yeah. Yorkshire bread pudding is kind of like bread. Okay. There's something is it something where it's like blood pudding or something like that? I don't know. I'm not going after something like that. Yeah. I'm just not. Um, yeah. Let's get your takeaways from the game. I haven't heard anything you've said about the game. I know what I've said. I've heard Bashar even talk about his thoughts on the game. I have
Yeah.
not heard yours.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, Drake Jackson, I mean, fantastic game from him. Definitely a little bit surprising. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he looked this good in terms of like, yeah, he put on the weight. He should be good to be able to play 17 games. this year. And, I know in camp they were saying he looked good too. We didn't really see him too much in the preseason, but like I just didn't expect 3 sacks in the first game from him. So that was just amazing to see. Um, him
You
just
know,
have that confidence as well.
his first 2 sacks, he wasn't even well, he was kind of beating his guy. Like I think it was the second one, he was straight just pushing his dude back.
Yep.
But I mean, like he wasn't like his sacks weren't just like a Nick Bosa sack where he comes around the edge and he gets them. His first 2 sacks were just him being aware of where the quarterback was, and the quarterback's trying to get out of the pocket because it was a mess. You know what I mean? Our boys
Yep.
were giving him a what for, tell you what, but it was a mess. And all he did was do a spin move to disengage from his guy and come back upfield to make the sack. And that's, I don't care as long as you're he's keeping his eyes up. He knows where the quarterback is at all time. I liked it. When everything breaks down like that, we've normally seen quarterbacks escape the pocket and run
Yep.
for a first down. So to see somebody on the team who can get upfield, can push his guy back into the quarterback, but also at the same time know when to break contact with his guy and get back upfield and attack the quarterback and sack him. So
Yeah.
I think maybe he does need more time with his moves, but his awareness is up there.
Yeah,
And
his
that's
awareness
probably
and just
also
confidence, like overall, is just up there.
his awareness is probably also what helped him get those batted balls last year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Not well, you also have to get your hands there, but if you're
Yeah.
not aware that he's about to throw the ball right in your area, then you can't stop it any of the time. You're not looking for it. Christine says Drake Jackson gonna have himself a season along with BA. I could totally see that.
Yeah. Definitely can too.
Okay. He says, not a dessert, bro, and it ain't bread. It's baked batter that rises into a bowl shape. People put shit in it. Oh, okay. Black pudding. Black pudding is blood sausage. That's what it is. That's what it is. Now I remember. Shout out to James. Thank you. That I knew there was something. There was something called pudding that had to do with blood and wasn't something I was probably ever going to try. Now, get me drunk enough, and you attack my masculinity enough, and I'm probably going to eat it. Just to be honest with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Come on, look at that little 13-year-old girl over there just had some and be like, oh shit, you're gonna have to eat this blood sausage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought Drake Jackson looked good. I mean, Jake Moody was a lot of people. Yes, I know were worried about Jake Moody in the preseason. I'm glad at least as of now he got those things out of the way, and so it's good that he got those things out of the way and actually started off the game on the road, because usually the kicking on the road is going to be much harder. So it's great to see that he was able to overcome that, and now hopefully that can continue weekly. But yeah, just overall great to see Jake Moody. I thought special teams, I mean, even with Money Mitch was just outstanding, pinned the Steelers back at the 5-yard line like twice. So just amazing to see.
Our special teams was on it. Like we pinned them back deep once, but it was consistently around the 10. And that's something I love to see. Like it's nice to pin somebody on the 1, but if you can guarantee you're going to pin somebody on the 10 every time you give them the ball, like if they're able to, on a touchback come out to the 25 and they have problems going down the field from the 25, we'll give them 15 more yards to overcome. That's some make or breaky stuff. You know what I mean? It also makes it so that when they fizzle out there right at the end. If they had to start 15 yards further back, they might not be in field goal range when they fizzle. So it's those type of things that could totally push them out. Got to give a shout out to Jason, Niners Smash Massey in the house. He's out there. I believe he's still probably trying to help with the Maui situation. Those poor people out there. We got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold podcast in the house. If you don't know Jess, you need to hit her up on Twitter. Well, you need to follow her on Twitter. She knows where all the players are gonna be, and even the owner. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear she just took a picture with Jed.
Yep,
the bald head York.
That is a true fact. I did end up seeing that on Twitter.
Just next time you meet Jed, just say, "Hey Jess," or "Hey Jed, there's a guy named Ryan who wonders, with all that money, can't you figure out how to fix that or just shave it off? Just one or the other, bro, because leaving it how it is it's making us look bad. You know what I mean? And this is the decision you do with your hair, bro. What are you doing with the team? Just saying. Sorry. I'm joking. Yeah, Jess is awesome. Oh, she also has, if you tune into the podcast, she has retired 49er people from here and there at times. And she also has active players on the roster. She's even had, if I remember correctly, was it Spencer Burford?
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure to check her out. Does a great job. I want to get your thoughts on Steve Wilks. What do you think about the game he called?
I mean, I was shocked because I thought maybe there'd be a little bit of adjustment period for this defense, especially the secondary, I thought, because I thought that was going to be the, area that had the most impact, because Steve Wilks is like the secondary guru. And I kind of, I expected pretty much the front seven to be pretty much the same. I mean, why would you fix it? Because it's obviously been really good. But
I don't think you would describe it as fixing it, because doing anything to something that good is inevitably just going to ruin it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it just nothing even needed to be changed with that. But I loved the pass rush overall. Like I feel like there was constant pass rush. Now, I will say, is that Steve Wilks, or is that might have just been execution from the players, but just that drive to end the first half, that was probably the worst drive by the defense. I mean, you pinned them at the 10-yard line, and you still let up all those those yards, and then obviously led to a touchdown. But really, aside from that, I thought Steve Wilks called an excellent game. I didn't really see too many blitzing, which I know we kind of expect to see more blitzing from him, but also you can't show all your eggs at once, so you got to save some of that for other games, maybe some for other games that it's a closer matchup. So I thought Steve Wilks, again, aside from that that drive to end the first half, did an outstanding job calling the game.
I hear people blaming Lenoir on that drive being able to go on, which is definitely a call you can definitely make, because if he hadn't caused that penalty, they would have been having to punt. So you can definitely point at that there, but there's like all the plays on that drive were a chance to stop them. You know what I mean? And we weren't able to. And yes, you're right. I believe totally that game could have been a shutout. But at the same time, I'm glad that Wilks has got some homework to do. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't flawless, so he can't be like, yeah, I was perfect. I couldn't have done any better. He's got a little bit something. Somebody knows how to get at him. Now he's got to figure it out. And I'm guessing he already made the correction because we didn't see them score after that. And if they had stumbled upon something that was working like they were doing, why would they just give up on that at halftime? No, Steve Wilks shut it down. You got to go in for one drive.
You knew the players coming out of the half that they were not going to be happy with how that ended.
The defense was like, okay, you got one on us. That you're welcome. That one's on us, guys. This next one you're gonna have to pay in blood for. You know what I mean? Like,
like you're actually gonna have to earn it. So
because essentially our defense gave that to them by the way they played on every other series against the Steelers. We gave that to them. It's fair and easy to say, and I'm not necessarily mad at them. How can you expect somebody to be perfect 100% of the time?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But they could have been perfect. They could have. I'm just not going to harp on them to do that because there's no reason to do that. They've got stuff they can go work on. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, and it's not like, they ended up losing the game too, and it was the reason. It wasn't like the defense was the reason why we lost. Like, no, we're
talking about just shutting someone out or them only having 7 points. This is not anything to cry about at all. You know what I mean? It's something to talk about, but it's not something to bitch and moan about. I don't think.
No,
I think it's just something. It's good. You've got somebody having something to work on going into the next game instead of thinking that they're untouchable. I don't like that because complacency kills. And when you start thinking your farts don't stink, then you're not in tune with the outside world and you can't see the most obvious stuff that's staring you in the face because you're jaded from all that. The only thing you can see is what is in your certain visions that you have decided is what should be a part of it. And that's not the world. You're not the main character. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Let's see. We got a question here. Would Yak ability keep the safeties deeper in the backfield in case of breakaway runs? I'm sick of hearing about Purdy's poor ball ability. Does Yak keep the defense honest? Well, with our guys on the team, yes, I think it totally does because with the fact that all of them are so great at Yak, you can't guarantee you're going to tackle them with the first guy. So you're going to have to swarm. You're going to have to swarm and you have to get two on them at the same time. That's really key. Like you'll see like the guys that we face, the trickiest guys, you need two guys on them. So like a Derrick Henry, you need two guys on him. Marshawn Lynch back in the day, you need two guys on him. You can't you can singly tackle him, but it takes a beast of a man. It takes a great angle. It takes the stars and the moon to align, right?
Nope.
So this is what they're having to do with us. If you notice, like George Kittle, when he got that 4th down play on the first drive, one guy he shrugged off was on the ground as 3 guys are tackling him to the ground. You can't do it alone. And if you try to, you're just going to be a guy you need to at least slow him down or stop them in some sort of way. So yes, I think it could keep them honest. But I think when the game is actually going, I don't think they're thinking about Yak. You know what I mean? I don't think they're thinking, well, if he catches this 5 yards in front of me, I need to stay off, another 5 yards to just make sure that if he gets free, I can adjust him. So I don't think safeties are like staying an extra 5 yards back. They're still playing the ball. I think it's just everybody else when they're free is taking different lines of attack than you normally would. Because you're trying to be there when your friends are there, essentially, for the most part, or get to a certain choke spot where you can, if you don't tackle them, you can pause them in a moment to where 1 or 2 more other people could catch up to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you look at Christian McCaffrey's run where Brandon Ayuk and Ray McDonald helped block, if it had taken any longer to block the guy that Ray blocked, Christian McCaffrey could have been tackled from behind.
Yeah.
So it's that type of stuff. If you could pin somebody into a certain area with an angle you take, or you just make sure you're there when everybody else is there. So when someone wraps up, you can hit your buddy and Kittle at the same time and knock them both over. You know what I mean? One person holds on to him, another person can grab both you and take you over. We got David Corona in the house. So, and look, I have been saying that I am not sure where Purdy's arm is, but going back and looking at it, the game some more in depth, he's making like 30-yard throws at times.
Yeah, I mean that one to Brandon Ayuk was like a good amount.
Well, that one was probably 40 yards because it was also cross. He was in the middle of the field and he threw it to the corner of the end zone.
Yeah,
pretty much. You know what I mean? So I'll give him extra yards on that. It wasn't obviously just 20-something yards. Probably more worth 40. And that one, that was amazing by everybody. Like Purdy pretty much threw him open.
I did not even think Ayuk was gonna like catch it. And then when I saw him catch it, I was like, I thought he was out of bounds or he got one foot out of bounds. And then I saw the replay and I'm like, okay, no.
It's a touchdown. I still can't see the ball go in there. I know he's got it, but I still don't. I don't see anything. Like it just gets teleported in there. There was like no room. He leans back just perfectly enough to where the ball just falls in there and he just gets it and it's touchdown. And he gets his last foot in about, I'd say in half an inch before the line, maybe an inch, probably half an inch. It was that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, James, Purdy is fearless. It's unbelievable some of the windows he throws into Heart of a Lion. Well, I think that's the system too. And not to say that he's not fearless. I'm just saying one of the reasons why he can be so fearless is the system and the players on the team. So, who was it? Was it Debo? I think Debo was talking about how Brandon Ayuk first year, he didn't understand that routes were so precise. Mm-hmm. Saying if you're 6 inches out of spot, you're too far out of the way. You have to be in a specific spot. So to have people on the team that know that and expect that, and Purdy only has to deliver the ball to that spot and notice if the key is there. You know what I mean? Like, did the safety go with the crosser, or did he go with the what do you call it? Like when you're the seam. Did the safety peel off with the seam? Okay, so now I know no matter what, this linebacker sitting in the middle of the field, standing there, not moving any sort of direction, now can't make a play on the ball when I hit that second window because he's not moving to the point already. You know what I mean? So he knows that if I throw the ball, the only person who can get to it is that linebacker, and if he's not moving, safety's gone. So that was the other guy. Now the linebacker's not moving because he doesn't know if it's a run yet or not. And the system, the players, I think it makes it so he can have that trust.
Yeah, I mean, I also think, I also feel like just Purdy, I mean, he has that it factor too with him because like that shimmy that he did, like when he ran it, like I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just, again, he has that it factor, he has that fierceness. It's just, he has that dog in him, and it's great to see that. And even that one where he sees the safety from the Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he sees him right there on a blitz, and he moves out the way, steps forward, and then finds Deebo Samuel just for an absolute dime. So again, like he has that. He's
got a killer one step. He's got a killer one step. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like his top speed isn't crazy, but he can one
Yeah.
step you to death. Like like he would be a great matador. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he's just yeah, he's got it when it comes to some of his personality and qualities, you know? He
Yeah.
like the way he processes the defenses real time is is awesome for us. But to me it says more about him because to be able to come in first year and come back second year after an injury and still run the offense like nothing fell off. Like guy's got everything upstairs. He's just got everything upstairs. And he's learned how to work with what he's got. And he's deadly. He can be very deadly. And you know what else I noticed this last game? We didn't have that almost got picked off what the fuck throw from Purdy. Because remember last year,
Yeah.
there was always one of them that was almost going to get intercepted by like a linebacker.
Yeah, and then he'd get
And
intercepted
it seemed like
a couple of
this
times, but then he
game,
got like bailed out by a flag. But
well, there was always one a game that the linebacker should have caught or dropped. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like they should have caught it or dropped.
Yeah. No,
And
but I'm saying he also
I
had
didn't
that
see that this
time
game.
where it's like, yeah, where he'll throw it and it's in a pick, and then it's like he ended up getting
Yeah.
bailed by like a flag. So yeah,
There
we just
there
didn't
was
see
definitely
any
one
of
time.
that. We didn't see any of the uh-oh like moments from him
Yeah.
in a bad
Now,
way, in
it's
this
only
game.
week 1. It's
Yeah.
only week 1, but that's something to look out for. Hey, by week 5, if we don't have a what the hell was that? That was almost a pick. You know what I mean? Then well, Brock Purdy has done something to
Yeah.
change that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. He probably did a little more research. I guess somebody was, there's probably a certain coverage or something that he wasn't aware of, and he probably decided to go back, hit the books. What was always making me do this? And he probably made a change. So let's see if he.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest knocks of his because it doesn't take much for those almost interceptions to just become interceptions. And there was times he'd throw an interception in a game and throw an almost interception.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to see this getting changed, hopefully getting changed. I'm ecstatic to see that because that was my big knock against Purdy. I really like to have a bigger arm on a quarterback,
Hmm.
but the way I see it, they can't mess with him right now. So what does it matter if he can throw it down the field or not? They're having to be on the balls of their tippy toes every second because they don't know where it's coming until it comes out. You know what I mean? And I'll deal with that. If they're terrified of him throwing the ball their way because every time he has a completion, our guys go off the rails, I'm okay with that. I want people to be terrified.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Resident Evil AMC. What up? Appreciate you. Everybody who's watching. Are we streaming on your channel,
Yep.
Sean?
Yes.
Anybody who's watching, please go over to the other one's channel and make sure to hit a like, and if you would also please subscribe. We appreciate it. It doesn't keep the lights on, but it keeps us going.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, streaming on both. So please do that. Give everybody a shout out. But yeah, Resident Evil. Thanks for stopping by, man. Like the. Do you ever play video games?
I play like some Madden and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, have you ever played Umbrella? Or sorry, not Umbrella, but Resident Evil?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's that little umbrella there.
Mm.
That's the symbol of the
Yeah, I thought it
company.
sounded like a game, so that's what I thought. What's up, David McNiner?
Yeah, David McNiner in the house. What up, David? How's your day going? I believe, David, if you would, I believe you got a show tonight, if I'm not mistaken. If you do, please let us know in the comments so I can let everybody know about it. He might have a show, him and Bryant Culp tonight, so I want to make sure everybody knows so they can go over there. He says, James says, I know last week BA had a great game, and the next game Debo could, then CMC, then Kittle. Is there any one guy who is going to make themselves the number one wide receiver, or is this team not built for that? That's a great question because this
Yeah.
is, I've been talking about, I don't know if the 49ers are going to be able to keep a Brandon Ayuk, and it's not about money. It's about he wants to be a Hall of Fame wide receiver. So if he can't get the touches consistently, he's not going to want to be on this team. And I was saying maybe it might have to do with even quarterback, because if he can't get his yards by getting the ball further downfield and only having to make one guy miss, then he might want to go look somewhere else, because that's one way to get a lot of yards is to get the ball further downfield and only have to deal with making a safety miss.
Yep.
Or a corner one-on-one with, if it's like quarters, whatever's clever. I you know how the situations can go. I'm just saying, what of that? So to me, I think, yeah, Brandon Ayuk, I think, is going to be our wide receiver one this year. And
Agree.
I think they like that touchdown pass when he broke Peterson's ankles when they were on the one hash, and he was threatening the big part of the field and came back in. So if you look at that play, they are using Debo as the decoy there. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to use Debo to be the decoy until Brandon Ayuk gets just, double teamed.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to have to double team Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. They're going to have to maybe not double team Christian McCaffrey, but somebody is going to have to always know where the hell he is. You know what I mean? And somebody else might be in charge of guarding him. You know what I mean? Because that's them faking to him and then turning around and passing to him is going to be one of the nastiest plays in the league this year. I'm just saying. So they're going to use Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk to open up everybody else. After they take everybody stops worrying about Debo and starts worrying about Brandon Ayuk. And then you're going to see Brandon Ayuk taking the heat off of Debo and everybody else. And then at that point, they're really screwed and they have to play almost everybody head up because they realize everybody can get the ball. And so then I think our offense gets better because they can't single anybody out. We could do whatever we want. So I think Brandon Ayuk's going to be the number one wide receiver this year, at least until teams start trying to sell out to stop him. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I think that with Brandon Ayuk, I mean, also he's in a contract year. It's just I feel like with Purdy, he is the number one guy, and Debo Samuel. Yeah, I think I really agree with you. Like he's gonna be a decoy, and then until defenses really start, putting their focus on Brandon Ayuk, that's gonna open up another guy to be able to get the ball too. And even it's going to help out George Kittle too. I think George Kittle, they could continue to use him, in the short, even passing game, and even in the red zone. I think that's where Kittle is. So I'm going to, definitely the Niners could spread the ball around because obviously they have so many weapons. But I think Brandon Ayuk's, if you're asking me who the number one guy is going to be, I believe it's Brandon Ayuk. Because I mean, just the route running from Brandon Ayuk that he does, I mean, man, he just makes guys miss. Like if you go back to that I think it was the first touchdown. Yeah, the first touchdown. He breaks up. He totally just go, breaks off of that defender, and that's why he's open in the end zone for that touchdowns. So
Well,
Purdy has
he had,
those eyes too, and just does a good job of getting the ball to whoever's open. And so I expect Brandon Ayuk to also continue to
he attacked his
maybe have.
outside hip, which caused him to have to get farther out. And you could tell he wasn't trying to give much ground because he wasn't going very far. Even when the cornerback gave that, or Peterson gave that extra inch, he was just trying to keep outside of him, just a shade outside of him. And the moment he went back in, he was expecting to take another step outside. And the moment he went back in, he had to adjust. And that's where he lost his balance because he was, I'm guessing, was expecting to take another step outside. I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie? What is it? Alexander.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a great part. He takes his troops out wide right, and because I can't remember his name, the Persian general or king Darius, I think it was. It might have been Darius II, but or Darius or something like that. It starts with the D. D block. Anyway, so his line's so long that he can't really get around it. But what he does is he just waits for them to get to the end of his line, and then they have to extend their line, right? So when they keep running to extend their line so he can't get around it, there's a tear at one point in the line, and he just cuts back through it. And that, because that's where it's most broke down. They're trying to overexpand too much, cut back in, break the whole point down. So I don't even know where I was going there now. It's a great part of the movie, though. Alexander. He took on 250 plus thousand troops with about 90,000. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Balls of steel. And he led the attack. So like he wasn't defending. He actually started the attack. He came across the field at him, outnumbered over 2-1. It was crazy stuff, and he might have only had 60,000. It was a crazy battle. It was, and they don't know exactly how many numbers it was. It was anywhere between 60 to 90, but I say it was probably around 90 because I know he's great, but that's some crazy numbers. Christian McCaffrey, he had a great game. Do you think we should have tried to get him out of the game earlier?
I mean, I think the issue was like Kyle Shanahan was even asked about this today, actually, that, how do you feel about, taking these, like you kept guys in the game, and he brought up, the Lions game from a few years ago, right? Like they almost came back and won that game, the Lions. So you never know. And I know the Niners had a big enough lead here, but you still never know when anything in the NFL can happen. But I think also Elijah Mitchell was in there a couple times, and he didn't look super effective. But I know he was
even have Elijah Mitchell in there.
But I know he was coming back from the injury, like I think groin injury or whatever in camp. So I think, yes, I know Elijah Mitchell gets hurt a lot.
Right. So why let him get hurt in garbage time in a game you're going to win? Put JP Mason in there. Let our homie do the work. Let him get a touchdown. Let the man get a touchdown. I don't understand.
What I'm saying is, I think that because Elijah Mitchell had that injury, like he also wasn't going to play as much. So I'm sure they'll ramp that up, and maybe they're going to be hopefully monitoring him a little bit too, because obviously he's had the big injury history ever since he's been here. But why not see some TDP as well? Because TDP looked pretty solid in the preseason, and I think he was inactive, I believe, in this game, which was kind of surprising. But if he's not active, why not put Jordan Mason in?
He was pretty much saying he'd like to see less of CMC this week, and because if you don't rotate people out like you should, injuries will happen, and then you'll really be screwed. You know what I mean? Then you'll have to rotate to the next guy, and you'll have to play him until he gets busted, and you have to move to the next guy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're not trying to see. We're trying to just have. That's what I'm saying. Elijah Mitchell in garbage time, he could get hurt.
Yeah.
We've seen him get hurt, so he could get hurt. So let's not use him in garbage time. Let's use him in times where we need him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Christian McCaffrey goes down, wouldn't it be nice to have a healthy Elijah Mitchell?
No.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. Let Jordan Mason and let Ty Davis Price be the backups and do the backup responsibilities. Come in, take a drive off CMC. Take a whole drive off CMC with them. Do it once a quarter if you can. And I know it's hard once a quarter because sometimes our drives take like 9-10 minutes, and that's a quarter. So, well, it's 2/3 of one, but
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like every other one, maybe you should try and get him out half the time. We've got ballers in our running back room. Let them do work.
Exactly.
Share the load, especially like if it's a tough game. Let them upstarts have a little extra money. They're cheaper. Not that I really like using people as as bodies and whatnot, but they are cheaper. They aren't as talented. You know what I mean? If anybody's going to get hurt having to run up the gut in a tough fought game, let's just have it be the young guys. Save our cream of the crop for when, we're going up against other cream of the crop. Not that, a tough fought game up the middle isn't, cream of the we might not be facing cream of the crop, but you know what I mean? Like if all we got to do is run into a wall out game, why do we have to have our best stuff out there? We don't.
Yeah.
We don't need to have our best stuff running the wall. We can have our trashiest stuff running the wall over and over and over again. As long as they know what the play is, essentially. If all you got to do is run into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got James and Bashar saying what's up. Defense. Let's talk about defense. Did you see Oliver in there at all?
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I haven't gone back looking every play for him.
No.
But I didn't see him. And if he was there, I don't know if he did anything because I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
don't think he was out there.
And supposedly he's supposed to play. Yeah, Bashar says Oliver played, but he didn't notice. Yeah.
So yeah, Oliver played like in the second half.
And supposedly he's supposed to be the nickel guy, right? And he's supposed to be there for like stopping the run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, isn't this team the type of team that you need that nickel for? And we barely see him. This should have been why he's here for week 1. Stop a punch you in the face type of run game like the Steelers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Isn't that what he should be doing? I don't get it. Let's see. He says, "Oh, oops. I saw some good all 22 clips from him. From who? Oliver? Oh, Kinlaw.
Oh,
Kinlaw.
Okay. We're talking about Kinlaw. I saw he was in there a little bit.
Yeah, I seen him in there too. I don't know. Hopefully, what camera are you using today? I am using my eMeet. My eMeet. It's like a $30 camera. Oh, we got Moses. OG Niner. What up, Moses?
What's up?
Moses is the DB coach extraordinaire. Not really, but kind of. He's the 49ers like DB connoisseur, I guess. So I believe he knows Quantrez Knight. He was pounding the pavement for him ever since like 2 years ago.
Oh,
like I was saying, I like Womack, and he's like, man, Quantrez Knight is better than Womack. So, and at times we've seen Quantrez Knight do some great stuff. I've when people were talking about Nichols and stuff, and Oliver was coming in, I was like, man, Oliver, like really, like we got guys on the team. We got guys on the team.
Dude, I love
We got him.
Womack on special teams. Like, yeah, I know he's not
Womack on
playing
special teams is really good.
in like on defense, but man, special teams, like I feel like I always see him near the line, like when it's at like the 5-yard line. Like I feel like I always see him there.
And I always, when Quantrez Knight is in, I don't know it until like he's in on every play. And then I'm like, oh, Quantrez Knight's in the game. Because once he's in the game, it's like he's around every play, if not in on it. So one of the ways when I'm looking for a good safety, right? I'm going to watch a game that they're in. And if they're like always one of the first three people in the frame once the player goes down, so they can be the person tackling or the next two people in, essentially, in the frame. And if they're constantly meeting that requirement, I think they're a great safety. Not necessarily that's the only thing, but that right there shows that they know what's going on because they're always around the ball. So to me, that's great, because what are safeties there to do? To stop somebody from just running down the field and getting a touchdown. And if you got somebody who is always getting in on the play, you got a guy who's always going to be there to save your butt. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking for. Then I'm like, can they wrap up? And how do they cover? That's the only other two things really I need from them. I don't need 40 times.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't need a 320-pound 6'7" guy back there as a safety, unless he can fly around, bro. Because then imagine that. Yeah, throw over the middle. I dare you. Hospital balls.
Man, I do wish that pitch though would have worked. And Kyle Shanahan said today that he wasn't a fan of it. After the pick by Hufanga. Pitching to Gibson.
I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm all for it. And I really like that. You know why? Because the defense was trying to score.
Exactly. And that's the mentality that you want. You want the defense to have the mentality to try and get the ball every play and also to score.
Not just that, but when you in that situation hand the ball off to your teammate, do a lateral and whatnot, it's saying, I don't care if I get the credit for the touchdown as long as we get it. Exactly. And that's just the selflessness, to me, is another great sign. You know what I'm saying? You're hungry to score a touchdown and you're selfless in the act of it. To me, that's what I want out of a defense, because those are the type of things when it gets tough and their back is against the wall, they know who they're fighting out there for. It's not us. We might be in the seats and this and that, but it's like out in the military when you're out at war, right? Mm-hmm. You say, you're fighting for people, this and that. Well, when the shit's really hitting the fan, you're fighting for the guys next to you, because those are the only thing you have left. The remnants of your life that you once knew is these people, and that's your only ticket to getting back. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing. So when the 49ers secondary faces adversity, this is the type of thing, or the 49ers defense faces adversity, this is the type of thing that they go back and, like, remember, we're here for each other. You know what I mean?
I feel
no need to break each other down. Let's build each other up.
That vibe from the defense. It's just like they get that energy, and it's like whoever, it don't even matter who makes the play, like they're always supporting one another.
It seemed like the offense when Jimmy was in was like, everybody on the offense was like, I hope it's not my number called when the accident happens. I had a feeling like everybody was like tiptoeing around and just like hoping, I don't know how to put this, like hot potato.
Yeah.
like you just keep passing that potato around until it goes off, and you're just trying to figure out if there's any way you can put it off to at least you hand it off to the next person. You know what I mean? Because at some point it's going to go off. Somebody's going to get the whammy, and we're screwed. So
But
I
yeah,
think
to answer Bashar's question, I don't think Jair Brown was on the field. I feel like I would have definitely noticed. Yeah, I don't think he was. Maybe special teams probably, but I don't think on defense he was out there.
OG says Quantrez Knight is my son's former teammate from UCLA, and I still will endorse him to play. Oh, hey, I'm sure I would too if I knew the young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Jair Brown didn't play at all in the
which
on
which is
defense,
which
which
is
I'm
funny.
fine with.
I'm not. I want to
Well,
see him
yeah,
in there.
I want to see him in there too, but I think again it's just he's a rookie, and so they'll implement him, when they need to, because like when we didn't really need 3 safety looks. I don't so when they need to do that, I think we will see him
I
in there.
we we don't even necessarily need 3 safety looks to have him in there. Why not have a nickel package where he's the nickel?
True.
And you could use that in situations where like he could maybe be the underneath man going for picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have your 2 high or your cover 2, and then you have Jair Brown underneath, essentially quote unquote nickel.
Yep.
And one thing I noticed, it looked like what's his name? Coach for the Steelers.
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. It looked like Mike Tomlin was doing some things to mess with Brock Purdy and how he likes to do things. It seems like he dropped TJ Watt back in coverage, which took away his quick slant, and then brought pressure, I think, from the opposite side, because that's where he would have to go to his next look probably. So it seems like they were trying to do stuff to kind of mess with Purdy and what he's used to and his book. You know what I mean? His book on himself. So, and it looked like he passed with flying colors.
No. It feels like everything that Brock Purdy, like everything that defenses throw at him, he just ends up passing it. Like, again, like I was saying earlier, right, on that play where they brought Minkah Fitzpatrick on a blitz, like he knew exactly, like, oh shoot, okay, nobody's covering that. I'm gonna roll out and then throw the dime to Debo. So,
which he threw some great balls this game.
yeah.
Really, he did. You know what I mean? There wasn't really. I don't remember a head scratcher.
Yeah.
There was. I remember I was watching the JT O'Sullivan breakdown of Brock Purdy, and there was a play that looked like it wasn't executed as it was drawn up. You know what I mean? Nothing looked right. When everybody was like at the top of their route, it didn't look right. Like it didn't look like there wasn't anything. So to me, like, I don't blame Purdy for anything like that. If you got nothing there, just you're gonna have to throw it away. And I don't blame quarterbacks for that. That's a smart decision. I'd rather you take a sack than intentional grounding. I'd rather you, you know what I mean? I'd rather you throw the ball out of bounds rather than potentially throw a pick. So those are the things, like, you just got to figure out what you can settle with. It says, with the Steelers scoring against our prevent defense, do you think Wilkes will be more aggressive in those situations? I think he was trying to be as aggressive as he could in that situation. I feel like they had his number and he hadn't figured out yet what they were doing. But the next time they got back out on the field, he had already devised the correction and implemented it. So I I don't know. I don't like prevent defense. I don't like prevent defense because you then start playing like a style of defense you don't normally play. I'd rather just line you up as you normally play and let you play. I'd rather lose in a scheme of formation that you're more comfortable in than to have a potential to win in something you rarely ever do. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like, oh, you got to protect the sidelines. You know what I mean? To stop them from going out of bounds. Those types of defenses, I don't like. It to me, it just yeah. All those defenses do is just let you go downfield, but in a different way. And I don't like that. I just rather play square, straight up, same way I did the whole game. I'd rather just put my guys up
Yeah,
against yours, especially if you haven't been able to do anything about it all game for the most part. And I'm
exactly.
definitely not switching my guys out doing some, oh yeah, we're only going to rush 3, have one Mike linebacker drop 7. No, no, not doing that. Or dropping 8. I'm not scared of them that much. What I'm scared about is our guys not being in a good position to win and being able to be in like a base defense to me gives me more confidence in them being able to execute more. Yes. Penalties. Spencer Burford. How many penalties does Spencer Burford have?
He had 2, and then I mean, just that
I know
whole
he at
right
least had 2.
side was having a hard time. Even Colton McKivitz, but he said today that he watched the film and he feels like he got some of that stuff. He got that stuff cleaned up. So we'll see on Sunday
He
versus
got
the
you
Rams.
think
But
he thinks he cleaned up 3 sacks? Or Burford?
well, no, I Colton McKivitz I think meant more about like he cleaned things up in terms of like, okay, he might still get sacked on, but like his way of going up against a defender probably improved. But we'll see on Sunday. So
So let's talk about Colt McKivitz real quick. So he gave up 3 sacks against TJ Watt, right?
yeah.
I'm not calling for his head. I'm
Hmm.
not saying he should be burnt at the stake or anything. But this did bring a question into my head. Is okay, granted, TJ Watt, I understand your new right tackle, starting right tackle. That's a tough day for you no matter how good you are. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? TJ Watt is a bad day for anybody, no matter their
Yep.
skill level. So what is he going to be like against average talent?
Mm.
That's my main concern. Is he going to give up like 2 sacks a game to like average talent? Or is it going to be like 1 sack a game, maybe 2 every once in a while? That's what I'm scared about. Is if everybody can get in. If it's not just the TJ Watts that can have a great game or get production off of him. That's what I'm worried about. What's your thoughts?
I personally am not too worried. I mean, I'm not gonna take away too much from just 1 week because again, yeah, he played TJ Watt, and I feel like just throughout the week he'll get better. And offensive lineman, yeah, I know the offensive line didn't change a whole lot. He's the only step up that's changed, but just getting that continuity, getting used to what other guys are doing next to you, takes some time. And so I'm not really taking again too much away from it. I'm personally not super worried because I feel like Chris Forrester's done a pretty good job, especially with the starting offensive lineman. So again, I'm not super concerned.
Okay. Uh, so we're hitting about an hour. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
Um, I guess just to kind of end it, yeah, I'm looking forward to this Sunday. I mean, I'm hoping that yeah, the offensive line cleans it up a little bit. Defense cleans it up a little bit. I know they gave up that obviously one touchdown, but I think I'm gonna expect it to be where I think it'll be a close game, especially in the first half. But then I think in the second half, the Niners are able to put up points and end up wiping out the Rams. But should be a good game. I don't think it's gonna be an easy game because no game's easy, and especially a divisional matchup. But yeah, not having Cooper Cup makes it a little bit easier, for sure. But I'm excited.
I don't know if the Rams know what they're about to get into. I think they feel all confident after a win against the Seahawks. Feel inflated. They
Yeah.
believe that there's somebody that they're not. I have a feeling they're going to get a rude awakening on Sunday. I think it's going to be dominant. Our defense is keyed up, and their offense has Matthew Stafford, and it has Nakua Puka.
Yep.
I like him. I think he's a good dude, but what I just don't know. Kyle Shona, there's a reason why the 49ers have like an 8-0 streak against the Rams.
Yeah, it's just they show up for those games usually. Like it's just
Exactly.
the matchups good
Just
for
the
them.
way the Rams show up against the Seahawks, and we saw yesterday
Yeah.
or last Sunday.
Yeah, and I
So
mean the Seahawks also front isn't the best too. They're definitely nowhere close to the Niners, so I don't think they're gonna have a day like they did versus the Seahawks.
so James, it is at Levi's South, sir.
Yes, sir.
Um, yes, but yeah, I think it's going to be a dominant victory. I have a feeling, and just because they got some guys, but they don't have
Cup. Yeah.
a trump card at every spot like we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've got a player at each spot that can change the outcome of a game.
Mm-hmm.
They've got two guys.
Yeah.
They really only have
They don't really have like a pass rusher aside from, Aaron Donald. Like
Aaron Donald.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
So I'm saying they got Matt Stafford and Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Those are the two people who can change the outcome of a game at any moment in time through their play. The 49ers have multiple,
Exactly. Yep.
especially in offense, All the specialty players on the 49ers are essentially at the top of the line in their respective groups, except for wide receivers.
Yeah.
That's the only place where we kind of lack, but we've got Debo, who's like a hybrid,
Mm-hmm.
and it opens up our offense more. So we got one guy to lean on when we need straight up one-on-one on the outside. That's our Brandon Ayuk. And then we got Debo to run underneath him. So when everybody goes with Brandon Ayuk because they're scared of getting beat deep, Debo gets a little pass and then works them even farther than they would have got worked if they just let him pass it to Brandon Ayuk. Oh, yeah. So as we get out of here, let everybody know what you got going on for the rest of the week and where they can find you.
Yep. So you guys can go find me at the Shaw Show Pod on YouTube, and then just at the Shaw Show on Instagram and the Twitter, or X as I like to now call it. But yeah, and going on this week I will have Payo Time, one of Rams content creator, great guy. So I'm gonna have him on Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, just make sure you guys follow the Twitter or X at the Shaw Show. So
yeah, and make sure you to hit your notification button. So even if you forget to check Twitter, you'll get a prompt letting you know that Shaw is going live.
exactly.
Yeah, and with that, I've got the rivalry in an hour, less than an hour, with Joe Stevens over on his channel. So make sure you check me out on Joe Stevens Seahawk Talk, 6:00. We've got the Corey Pick'em show, so Corey Davis' channel at 7:00 this evening, and then we've got tomorrow is the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. It should be. What else? What other shows? Anyway, there's a lot going on. I got the Friday show. Don't forget, if you are around in the weekend mornings, make sure to hit up Bryant Culp's channel for the 49ers Coffee Talk. And yeah, with that, we appreciate you. And go Niners.
Go
And
Niners.
F the Lambs.
And let's beat the Rams.
As David Mc